There we go. And we are live and direct, people. And thank you for coming to the KTNG morning show. First, before we do anything, we always have our morning prayer. So please, if you will, join us. Not like this, you get shot and arrested and stopped before going into your district offices as a black legislature. Or not like this because you're still a slave. More or less like this, so this way you may receive blessings that are due to you. And so forth. I would go. You can join me if you want. I thank Jah for my rising this morning in good health. I also thank Jah for placing the opportunities before I, so therefore I may succeed with them in His merit and His merit alone, to help those who cannot help themselves, and to show compassion towards our enemies, even though they deserve a patada and a culo. Yahshua, Jesus Christ, to the 227th heir to the throne of Jah himself, King Haile Selassie, Jah Rastafari, Jah Rastafari, Jah Rastafari. Thank you so much. And welcome to the KTNG Morning Show. And if many of you have seen my post over the weekend, Sunday we had what is known as a bad crash out here. I mean, you can hear look, the station is on, right? See, that's the music from the station itself. If you go to KTNG860am.org right now on your mobile device or anything of that nature, you will hear the exact same music that you're listening to right about now. Nothing is formatted. I can't see a thing. I can't see a thing, man. So, in light of everything and whatnot, I figured, I asked for donations. And, to keep the station going. And this is the reason why I have the fund drives here, and in hopes that people could actually support what I do here. And unfortunately, because I don't have the donations and everything, my equipment is slowly dying. And it's all thanks to my poor efforts in asking people to help. That's all I can say. Okay, and I find this hilarious because it's got to be me. It's got to be me, right? It's got to be me. Not a problem. Anyway, thank you guys for coming through. This is the KTNG Morning Show. I'm your host, the Grits Man. That's right. The G to the R to the I to the Z to the Z. That's the above the mountain and underneath the freeway. The freak on the peak. And if you allow me to open up your mind, I will then speak. So this way you have something to last you for the rest of the week. Bye. There you go, people. Welcome to the KTNG Morning Show. And that's right. I have the great spot here. Does not matter, man. Does not matter. Nothing stops the freaking show. Okay? Nothing at all. So if anything, I'm looking for a gun. Oh, yes. Join the convos. Question the insanity. Please make sure that you get a good morning shout up and so forth this morning. So that way I know that you're still here, you're still watching, you're still listening to seeing what the hell I'm doing. Okay? Anyway. I got to get into some good stuff here. Let's see. Positive K Branding. Good morning. Brett Samansky. Good morning. Skysky Rio. Good morning. Blessings. First light. Yes. Guidance for what? Guidance for Evanon. Yes. Guidance. Massive guidance. Thank you all for your support. And thank you all for tuning in. And most importantly, coming through. As you know, it was everything. It becomes your constitution of what your stools may look like. And if you're over 50 and so forth, you rest assured you may got a couple of solid rocks out of it. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying from a physiological standpoint, okay? If you're eating schlock, you're going to poop schlock, right? Straight up. Anyway, the reason why I find myself in good spirits this morning is because I have an indomitable spirit regardless. No matter what may happen to me, no matter what I may go through, I'm going to simply laugh it off because for one thing, I mean, I look at it as Jah's way of saying, look at it as like, you're a human being. Joke's on you. What can you do about that? What can you do? Except for Pick at the people who are screwing you over, okay? So here's a little fact, people. Here's a little fact. Now, Cheeseburger has been running around the country talking about, oh, employment is up, black and brown people are getting jobs and blah, 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 blah. All right? Well, I did a little research this weekend, despite my shortcomings with my program. I'm serious. You guys don't believe me, right? You guys don't believe me. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this shit, okay? There's nothing there, okay? There is nothing there, okay? Nothing there. I can't control none of it. I can't control none of it. So there will be no hip hop. Sorry. There will be no hip hop regardless. But it matters and so forth because I like getting my morning with hip hop. Anyway, back to what I'm doing here. Everybody in Mama knows that Cheeseburger sit there and said, hey, everybody got jobs, the unemployment rate is down, and since 1969 and all that crap and everything. And come to find out, remember, okay, for people who basically sat there and voted for this irresponsible cracker to be the president of the freaking United States, you made one freaking mistake. You got greedy. You got greedy and settled on these so-called tax returns that you were supposed to get. Now that we've gotten a little bit further into this history of this historic, as I would say, this disgusting debacle about it, but it is kind of disgusting. We've gotten into this historic, oh my God, oh, Facebook just died on me? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Oh my God, you gotta be freaking, no. I don't believe this. I don't believe this. Boy, you mentioned Cheeseburger on, oh my God, you gotta be freaking kidding me. No. Nope. This is stupid. This is stupid. There you go. Wow. Okay. Oh, geez. Wow, this Facebook is not fucking giving me no love whatsoever. Damn. 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. Hopefully I am back again. It seems that Facebook does not want me to discuss anything about damn Cheeseburger. Okay. Obviously, man. Obviously. Okay. Hold up. Okay. I just got to do this all over again because this is ridiculous. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Trying to censor me. Oh my God. All right, cool. Whatever. Anyway, this is the KTNG Morning Show, and I'm the host of Grits Man, and this is what's going on down in your neck of the woods. Now, remember, you voted for this idiot. You fell for his tax plan. The top 1% basically got their tax breaks. What does that mean for you? Simple. Places like Amazon, Walmart, those places where people are getting mad jobs and everything, and this Jeff Bezos guy who's got millions and millions of freaking dollars and so forth, basically he's become the greediest bastard on the freaking planet. All right, let me give you a point of fact. Okay, these scumbags who own Amazon, okay, they basically I think it's 1 out of every 4 employees are basically picking up food stamps. Okay. 1 in 5 people that work for Walmart are on food stamps. So if you got to work 3 jobs to keep a roof over your head, that's bullshit. Okay, that's total bullshit. Okay, you should be working 1 job, 1 damn job. Okay, but if you can't, if for some stupid reason, they are basically showing you a way of saying that this is okay. And when everybody gets their bonus checks, and so when the CEOs get their bonus checks and the board and the shareholders get their gratuitous, money from your free labor, and these guys are walking around with $20 million portfolios, So that way they can sit there and say, well, we can make more money by reinvesting it inside of the corporation and make more fake money. Kind of makes you wonder how they were able to systematically do Bitcoin altogether, doesn't it? Not a conspiracy, people. When's the last time you heard Bitcoin in the news? So here it is. Here it is. Let me pull this up real quick and give you a reading on this. All right. Okay. As a public record request for a list of their top employers of SNAP recipients, Amazon cracked the top 20 in all 4. And that's because new data does suggest that 1 in 3 of the company's own employees depend on SNAP to put food on the table. In Pennsylvania and Ohio, the figure appears to be around 1 in 10 overall of 5 states that responded to. Arizona was in the mix of this whole thing. It goes on to say that Pennsylvania has an estimated $24.8 million in subsidy support, 13 warehouses employing around 10,000 workers. At the same time, more than 1,000 of those workers don't make enough money to buy groceries, according to public data provided by the state. So then I have to think about, how the people in, say, how the people say, in Compton, who just got 2 years ago, got a Walmart down there, and they're probably going through employees left and freaking right. Okay, and they're probably seeing, a lot of changeovers here and a lot of change over there. It's good. I mean, the students that come out of high school to actually work those particular jobs and everything. Out here, we have a mixture of middle-aged got people who are somewhere between, say, 60, 70 years old. Okay, and for real. It's kind of you just walking into a place that says, okay, guess what? You are about to see your retirement come from out of this place. And all those people that are 50 and 60 and 70 years of age working in these places, their retirement packages is going to be so freaking small. Where Mr. Bezos, who is basically the man who owns all this crap, is thinking about going into outer space so he can, import free labor. Okay? Pretty much. I'm going to find some space aliens and exploit them. But it goes on even further than that, because this is behind Cheeseburger's, rampant discussion about how he saved the unemployment rate and how he did with the economy. The stock market basically needs to be overhauled. Wall Street needs to be overhauled badly, if that's the freaking case. You guys don't get it, do you? You guys don't get it, do you? You guys don't really don't get this, do you? Okay. Let me put some proof on here real quick. Let me put some proof on it. Let me put some stank on you real quick. Okay? First and foremost, all right. One of the most important things that we now know at this point is that this investigation that's going on right about now is basically dragging the fuck on. It's dragging. Okay? And everybody's wondering now, come on. Cheeseburger is basically, ducking and dodging. It's worse to sit him still try to fight with no arms. Or as say, like a man without no arms, you can't hang. Okay? So out of the Washington Post, it says a president can't obstruct justice. It's not quite right. Legal analysts, scholars say. The assertion by the bastard of the strap, the commander in beef, el jefe of the messe, okay? Alrighty. The man whose brain is shaped like a peanut and thinks like a walnut, Mr. PP Man, your grand wizard and fearless, foolish ass leader and mine. Cheeseburger. All right. Oh my God. The assertion by the Cheeseburger's lawyers that he cannot obstruct justice because he has absolute authority over all federal investigations is illegally problematic because it would essentially mean the nation's commander-in-chief is above the law. Nobody is above the law. There's a Democrat running for governorship. I thought he's doing his political campaign for governorship in Virginia. And he compares the actions of your commander in beef to that of Osama bin Laden, which I find hysterical. Okay? Whereas Osama bin Laden, okay, who used to be, a trainee of the CIA, goes back during the Cold War and helps the United States keep the Russians at bay with very little funding and a whole bunch of garbage. And then when Osama bin Laden says, well, my people need to be paid, for about damn near since 1987, they never got paid. So it's no wonder 9/11 happened the way it did. Okay? Or your boy George Bush, he was just a linchpin patsy in this whole thing. Okay? All this was set up by his father. Okay? All this shit was set up by his father, who was who? The head man of the CIA. All right? He just didn't like George. But he just wanted to make an example out of George, and George became everybody's favorite knucklehead. Okay? He became president, he became knucklehead, became commander-in-chief. He also became the patsy to this whole fucked up thing. So when the United States did not pay Osama bin Laden, do you think Osama bin Laden was not pissed off and saying, look, my people are dying over here. And all you're doing is forcing us to go into our faith to find a way to justify what we need. You're not going to have us sitting out here looking like Ethiopia like it was back in 1981. Remember the Us Festival people? Rock for Life, that shit. When Ethiopia's population of like 37 million people were like on the brink of death itself. A bunch of rock and rollers to garner support and save those people, feed those people, where the nations themselves could not do a damn thing. And we're just sitting up there with their thumbs up their asses. All right? So here it is. We fast forward this whole thing. And yes, there is a comparison. Okay? There are those of us who went into service and said, it says so, we signed the contract. That's USMC. You signed the motherfucking contract. Okay? And it says pretty much there, I will defend this country against foreign and domestic enemies, terrorism, all that shit, right? So when we have domestic terrorism that goes on, especially from the highest seat in the land, and this bozo has his lawyers pruning through all the rules and regulations and loopholes, just so this jackass can act with complete impunity, it's not only a problem for people of color, it is also a problem for poor whites in this damn country. So, do we have to circumvent our frustrations into religion? Unfortunately, there's a lot of organized religion with these super televangelists and so forth that are sitting up there saying, okay, the reason why I have this huge mega church and I got all this money and so forth is simply because I keep sending you guys, payment vouchers and everything to keep sending me more money. I'll send you $1 for every dollar I send you, you send me 50. No. You get stuck in that pimp game, you deserve to get pimped. Okay, straight up. No. Reverend Ike perfected that before he got busted. Okay, then that's another ball of wax. Anyway, the point I'm making here is that nobody is above the rule of law, the law of the land, or maybe because privilege allows certain exclusions. Oh my goodness, I don't believe this is actually happening. This has been systemic, okay, in the arrogance of color blindness for the last, 130 some odd years, okay? Come on. You think you can pull the wool over my eyes with just garbage like that? Come on, you're full of it. You're straight full of it, all right? And you're full of it, okay? So the president's powers are expensive. Many questions remain as to about how Cheeseburger's office would protect him from a special counsel investigation examining whether his campaign coordinated with Russia to interfere with the 2016 presidential elections. Fact is, they did. You know what? You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Fact is, everything that they were seeing, there's no precedent for. So Jacob Frankel, who worked with the independent counsel's office in the late 1990s and is now at a law firm in Dickinson Wright. In a 20-page letter, everybody's talking about this 20-page letter, okay, submitted to the special counsel's office this year. Cheeseburger's attorneys asserted that, quote unquote, the president's actions here, by virtue of his position as chief law enforcement officer, could neither constitutionally nor legally constitute obstruction because that would amount of him obstructing himself. I obstruct myself almost every other night when I'm thinking about a nice looking female. Okay, and boy, that obstruction just goes everywhere. That's why I do a lot of laundry. Legal analysts said that the head of the innuendo, the executive. Okay, cool. There you go. Divine strength in. Yes, guys, keep real. Thank you so much. I come back. Yes, I come back. But them trying to censor me here. That's what I'm trying to do. Them trying to censor me. Now, legal analysts say that the head of the executive branch, Cheeseburger, could issue pardons, fire senior officials, and order them to shut down investigations. But if his motives were corrupt, such actions could constitute obstruction, which means he couldn't even pardon himself. And if he did so, that would mean what? Impeachment. Where you have forces of both the Democrat and the Republican parties are basically scared to move forward with the impeachment. It takes an act of Congress. So that's why they're waiting for the midterms. This is why this man is out here trying to garner as much support as possible with alternate right, neo-Nazi, fascist jackasses. Basically, one love, brethren, one love, who are out there basically patrolling in their particular neighborhoods, fundraising very fast. They are trying to make that they have control of the Senate. If they have control of the Senate, then they can enforce the rules. They can make the rule. Babylon can make the rules. So our people suffer continuously. Who wants to suffer for the next 4 years or the next 4 years after this 4 years behind some pasty-ass fat bastard who has no intentions of doing anything but for himself? Okay? Which is the reason why I like Mr. Mueller. Robert Mueller, the investigator, chief investigator, the special counsel investigating this so-called Cheeseburger Russia case. Okay? You know, the reason why he's doing it, nailed New York, one of New York's notorious people, most notorious New York mob boss, John Gotti, the gangster known as Teflon Don. So, because one of the most important things to understand about Cheeseburger, the con man and hustler who happens to be the president, is that he comes from the mob-tinged New York real estate industry and knows exactly what happened to Gotti and other mob bosses held by the racketeering prosecution waged by the likes of Mueller. Cheeseburger knows Mueller is now conducting the same kind of racketeering investigation in the Cheeseburger Russia case, and it frightens the crap out of him, and he knows this, all right? And he truly knows this. Because the way Mueller's approaching this, he's taking out his little Indians around him, okay? Same way that he and his fellow Justice Department prosecutors went after Gotti and other mobsters. He's rolling up his loyalists. And he is slowly but surely climbing the ladder from low-level operatives to more prominent figures, holding the threat of prison over their heads to get them to flip and talk about people higher up the ladder. Eventually, Mueller's racketeering case will make its way to Cheeseburger, and then it will all be right there in front of everyone. The things that we all suspected, everybody knows that he was throwing out smoke and mirrors, okay, saying that, oh, guess what? Don't look over here, don't look over there. I can't find Melania. Okay, straight up. The man can't find his own wife. He lost his wife in the White House. That was so strange. I mean, come on. There's a bunch of reporters were on, say, like the White House line saying, where's Melania? And he points to a window and everybody looks and he just like scoots away somewhere. This is the man who runs the country with an iron authority of some sort of dictator, and you believe him? That's not fake news. That's just basically being, conned. So whenever Mueller seems to be making progress, Cheeseburger tries to distract. That is what a desperate person does. They will try to distract you every single time when you're getting closer and closer and closer to the truth. And the closer you get and the more you squeeze that little rat inside of a corner, the more ferocious that rat becomes. You either step on it or leave it alone. So, this is why, Cheeseburger's desperate and has been turning to crazed loyalists like Giuliani to go on cable news and spout incoherent attacks on the Mueller investigation. Okay, this is all Giuliani's paying for it. He's a goon. All right, the guy is about as smart as Giuliani, for all his lawyer tactics right now, he's a frightening like a frightening uncle who basically has the brain of a sponge. Okay, nothing holds in it except for water. All right, and it explains why Cheeseburger and his minions are now trying to focus the public attention on the FBI's use of power of informant to falsely claim that Cheeseburger was illegally spied on for the purpose of deep state during the 2016 elections. Spygate. That crap. Cheeseburger made up the word. Okay, nobody in the media made up that damn word but him. Him and his stupid loyalists. Okay? So, needless to say, this has been, I would say let Robert Mueller go on with his investigation. Let him get to the heart of the matter. Because in the end, they're basically trying to shift the public opinion to say, okay, well, if the public voted in him, then it should be the public that vote him out. Well, 90% of the public has already voted his ass out. Okay? For real. 90% of the public has voted his ass out already. It's just that majority, 10 to 15%, who are, pretty much idiots. Let me guess those lackluster Christians who call themselves Christians, who are into that seeding thing, okay? And most corporations that back ass up because, he surrounded himself with the Millionaires Boys Club, have done exactly that. They propped his ass up. They certainly did. They propped his ass up. And what does that mean for you, for the likes of you and me? While we sit here and flounder endlessly in the wake of a dictator. Even the United Nations say that Cheeseburger is making life harder for the poor. We're at the halfway mark, people. This is the KTNG Morning Show. I'm glad you guys are through here. Protecting the First Amendment rights here. Yes, we are free thought media, free speech, talk and soul. And unfortunately, I am in need of a new monitor. So if anybody thinking about, getting a Dell monitor, donate it here. That would be good. Or donate some money. You can basically do that through our email at KTNG860am at gmail.com. Leave a donation. I know somebody that's basically selling a used one for $45. So if you can help, that's great. If not, programming is going to suck and nobody's going to get anything. Trust me. There will be there is going to be no concerts, no news, definitely no morning hip hop at all. And that kind of sucks though, man, because it's like I was going just and all of a sudden clap, but I got to do what I got to do and so forth. So if I another problem, people, as I've been saying, I have another platform to go to that's going to basically show me how to be supported from people who like what I do on a month-to-month basis, so I don't have to worry about sitting up here scrimping and begging over Facebook and YouTube to get anybody to do anything. You know what I'm saying? I just got to wait on a few more pieces of information, and that's it. It's pretty much a done deal. And I'll let you know. Trust me, I'll let you know. The back burner is coming, okay? The back burner is coming. Anyway, let's get back into this. United Nations say Cheeseburger is making life harder for the poor. Here's the story from out of the Washington Post. United Nations has never been shy about attacking the United States. In recent years, the UN officials accused the Obama administration of failing to address police brutality and sexual assault in the military. After a white nationalist rally in Charlottesville last year, the UN team tasked tasked with monitoring the implementation of the Global Convention Against Discrimination, called on high-level U.S. politicians and public officials to unequivocally reject racial hate speech. Also last year, the world body called cheeseburgers attack on the media dangerous. Now a top human rights investigator is criticizing the United States for failing the poor. Philip Alston, UN Special Rapporteur on Extreme Poverty and Human Rights, has spent the last several months visiting impoverished communities across the United States. In one visit to Alabama, he met a family struggling to maintain their home on an income of $958 a month. The day of his visit, he said sewage was visible inches from the family's house, a reflection of their county's failing infrastructure, and mildew and mold were growing inside. Austin also says that he had never seen sewage problems like it in a developed world. I mean, come on, except for India, maybe, okay? There is a human right for people to live decently, he said, at the time. Alston, a New York University law professor, also paid visits to slum areas in downtown Los Angeles and Puerto Rico. Now, ahead of the presentation in the UN later this month, he is criticizing the cheeseburger administration for gutting the United States safety net by slashing welfare benefits and access to health insurance. Well, quote, if food stamps and access to Medicaid are removed and housing subsidies cut, then the effect on people living on the margins will be drastic. I'm living on those margins. You're living on those margins. Okay? The reason why my screen is not working is because I'm living on those margins. Okay? Will be drastic. Say the loss of those protections would lead to severe deprivation. Also, Alston also lambasted the administration over its recent tax cuts, saying that legislation will offer financial windfalls to the rich, large corporations, leading to even more inequality. Okay, the policies pursued over the past years seem deliberately designed to remove basic protections from the poorest, punish those who are not in employment, and make even basic health care into a privilege to be earned rather than a right of citizenship. Okay, it only took a day for cheeseburger to destroy what Obama fixed up. About 41 million Americans live in poverty, according to the government data, and about 12.7% of the population. 1 in 3 of those are children. Children. He does not like kids, but yet still he has like a bunch of neophytes walking around like homunculi. Okay, and it's disgusting. I don't know if he's into incest or whatever. I guess that's the reason why Ivanka speaking of Ivanka, that cunt, okay, whatever the fuck she is, she's causing what is known as conflict of interest because she's got 7 new patents coming out of China, whereas here's her dad basically saying, I have got sanctions on China. How does a dictator do that and get away with it? If you are above the law of every other nation on this freaking planet, that makes you a world ruler, doesn't it? Ming the Merciless strikes again. Yeah. Terrible. It's terrible. Just straight terrible. Okay. I mean, good grief. I mean, it's getting to the point now that Iran is now calling upon the world to stand up to this asshole to save a nuclear deal. Everybody's scrambling now. Everybody's scrambling. I invest on one thing is invest on the intelligence of those who protest against their leaders. In Venezuela, they're protesting. Okay? They're protesting their leadership. Mexico, they're protesting. Okay? Everybody's protesting because they see what cheeseburger is doing. Rain does not fall from the ground up. It falls from the sky down. All right? That's simple physics, people. That's simple freaking common sense logic right there. And if we're going to sit there and say, well, we can do something about it, and maybe they'll take notice of what we do at the top. No. The only way that you're going to ever do anything to get the top to notice you is you take out the top first. That's what a spoon's for when you're eating your ice cream, dumbass. All right? Iran calls on the world to stand up against cheeseburger to save nuclear deal. Let me give you this one. Let me give you the facts on this one real quick, all right? Reuters, right? The world should stand up to Washington's bullying behavior. Iran's foreign minister has quoted his by state media in a letter to counterparts as a top diplomat intensifies efforts to save a nuclear deal after the U.S. exit. U.S. President Cheeseburger pulled out last month from the 2015 accord between Iran and world powers that lifted sanctions on Tehran in exchange for curbs to its nuclear program. The remaining signatories of the deal, France, Germany, Britain, Russia, and China, still see the international accord as the best chance of stopping Tehran developing a nuclear weapons and are trying to salvage it. In a letter from Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif, okay, not Omar Sharif, to his counterparts last week, he'd asked the remaining signatories on the other side of the trade partners to quote-unquote make up for Iran's losses caused by the United States exit if they sought to save the deal. Okay, this is ridiculous. This is straight up ridiculous. By the United States abandoning this entire deal and so forth, we had the people in check at one point for not developing shit. Now we back away, so it's like, look, you can do whatever you want. And then we're going to rely on John Bolton to sit up and say, well, what happened in Libya, we can do over there. Why are we going to go back to a war in oil, for oil? Why? Okay? What is this mafioso crap that we're witnessing in the White House that we refuse to see and accept for what it is? There's crime and corruption going on in the White House, and you mean to tell me we got a bunch of idiots walking around thinking that it's okay? Okay? If you love the devil, you support the devil, and you are nothing but nothing more than his minions. Every single freaking time, you're nothing more than minions. And if you follow that jackass off the fucking cliff 9 times out of 10, you damn bunch of lemmings, you'll go and do the exact same thing because you believe what he does. Good for the economy, my ass. Everybody's got jobs, my ass. How is it that damn near 30% of the people who helped inflate those numbers got jobs and whatnot don't realize that they're working on they're getting high school wages? That's what I call them. I'm gonna call them high school wages. The cost of living has gone up. The idiot does not think that. Okay, these practices that we are experiencing right now will lead to a recession. If you don't believe me, that's fine. You can always talk to your local economist. I walk through the numbers, people. Okay, I walk through the numbers on a day-to-day basis, and I see exactly where they go. Okay, and if we're not cognizant of these things, we will be sitting up here crying the blues. Movies like The Purge will come to pass. Okay, for real, man. Y'all think it's funny. I think it's hilarious because we're stupid enough to do this shit. Apparently. We are just so close. We are so, and I mean really, really close to the point of human extinction on this planet. Really, really close. We're just teetering on a fringe of it. And the only reason why we're teetering on such a fringe, my good people, okay? The only reason why we're teetering on such a fringe like this is because, one, we are not cognizant, okay, of how progress that in the center of the lake, when you toss that rock in it, is becoming smaller after it's hit its base. The shock waves are moving, and by the time it gets to the least amount of water, it becomes a tsunami. Guess who's sitting at the end of that tsunami? You and me, okay? Okay, I don't have a screen here. I can't help. Sorry. That's the end of my customer service for the day. It is. But I will tell you this much. We, as a collective of people can sit there and say, oh, go out and vote, da-da-da-da-da. Not when the government now has surveillance equipment that tracks your cell phone and also can use the exact same data collection and surveillance to alter voting, here in the country all day long. The Russians did it. They left a blueprint. They left a digital blueprint and a digital footprint so that way we can follow, reverse engineer it, and do it ourselves. Ding! If that's not collusion, people, what is the scientific end? What is the scientific end game of Jurassic Park? Come on. Last story. Washington Post, and this has to do with our area here in Colorado. Not in Colorado Springs, projectively, but here in Colorado. Former slave on possible path to sainthood to be entombed in Denver Cathedral. Wow. On the streets of post-Civil War Denver, Julia Greenlee was unmistakable as she stood at the store steps of poor families in the middle of the night, pulling a red wagon behind her and wearing a floppy black hat and perpetually. The former slave lost her nine as a child when she was whipped by a slave master in Hannibal, Missouri. So some people in Denver knew her as One-Eyed Julia, but most called her an angel of charity. She bought food, coal, clothing, sometimes even hauling mattresses on her back to help families in need. Working as a housekeeper for white families, Greenlee, a devout Catholic, gave away so much of what she earned to the poor. At one point, she even gave away her own burial plot after hearing a poor African-American man was about to be thrown in a pauper's grave, so she wanted him to have hers. By the time she died 100 years ago this week on June 7th, 1918, she was so beloved in Denver for her charity that wealthy families bought her a new grave. Hundreds of people, black and white, poor and rich, attended her funeral at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church, which was covered in the newspapers as far as New York. For the first time in Denver history, newspapers said then a lay person's dead body lay in the state in a Catholic church, and honor was reserved for the priests and bishops and others of high holy order. People thought Greenlee lived like a saint then, and now, a century after her death, the Archdiocese of Denver is seeking to make it official. So on Thursday, Greenlee will be entombed, this coming Thursday, entombed at Denver's Cathedral Basilica of the Immaculate Conception to celebrate the 100th anniversary of her death. The tomb is white marble, sculpted specifically for Greenlee in Italy. Her remains are exhumed last year as a part of the canonization process for sainthood, and once again, a large crowd again paid respects as her bones were laid out on the cathedral for all to see. The United States Conference of Catholic Bishops gave the go-ahead to open the cause for Greenlee's canonization process in 2016, which formally happened in December of that same year. Okay, she has since been awarded the designation as a servant of God. Julia Greenlee will be the first person buried in Denver's cathedral, says Auxiliary Bishop Jorge Rodriguez, who last year's ceremony, according to the Denver Catholic, not a bishop, not a priest, a laywoman, a former slave. Isn't that something? Greenlee came to Denver in the 1870s with a woman for whom she worked as a domestic servant. Following her emancipation, the woman would go on to marry William Gilpin, Colorado's first territorial governor, and Greenlee stayed on as their housekeeper. She converted to Catholicism in 1880 because Gilpin's family was Catholic, and she used her proximity to wealthiest families to solicit donations from them and raise money for churches.